through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night of the Transformers Slag Podcast live stream? If you're looking around, it's a little different than normally. We're doing this from the video game room of Protoman HQ, and it's a special one today because got to see the Super Mario Brothers movie, so I figured we'd do a recording from a different part of the house instead of the normal Transformer room like we always do. Nice to see everyone here today. JR Mina, TMK Pointdexter, Bigums, Ashnud, Mike, and many more. We got like a few Patreon people too here also. Who do we got here? Also from the Patreon people. We got a lot of people coming in today. Good stuff. So my name's Protoman. I'm the face that you hear Monday to Friday on the Transformer Slag Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm a little tired. It was tire season here in Canada, so I've been very busy today doing a lot of stuff. But if the audio quality is not that great, I apologize too, because this room's not really made for streaming or anything like that. I plan to do that in the future. This room's right now in a prototype kind of stage in a lot of ways. We're ever going to do other stuff in the future, but hope you guys enjoy what you see. A lot of weird stuff here. You can see the crazy Mega Man, Proto Man collection, the Mario stuff, and I mean, it just keeps going. It just keeps going off camera. It's the Nintendo collection and everything. And it's a lot. So we're going to talk Transformers today. We're going to talk a little things here and there of some of the news, some updates here and there. The camera angles are going to be kind of weird. I'm going to try to make the best of what I could do here. We're going to talk about the Super Mario movie. I'm going to give my opinion. So if you have not seen it yet, I'm going to try to keep it spoiler-free as much as possible, but I heavily suggest go seeing it. Do not listen to the critics. The critics don't know what they are talking about. This movie is exposing how much Hollywood tries to bribe and control the narrative when movies come out that they don't deem part of their collective. And this movie does that. So it's quite an amazing movie. Something that I've been waiting for a very long time. Yeah, I mean, I can't reach it up there. It's all the way in my Atari collection. Like, let me grab my first ever. This is my first ever Mario figure I ever had. It was the Applause Super Mario PVC figure from back in the day. That was one of the first Mario figures ever in America, actually. Japan had Keshigumus and stuff like that, but here in America, you started right here with a red overalls, turnip in his hand, Super Mario Brothers 2 Mario. So let's jump into some Transformer news, though, because that's what you guys are here for. Cover some Transformer news. We're going to cover some interesting stuff that was talked about on Aaron Archer's podcast that I'm going to then do I guess, I don't want to say an update, but some cool stuff that I pulled up from the archive to kind of show to add to that. So let's do that. Again, I don't have a table here for this stuff, so I'm reaching for my waters and everything. Like everything's a mess here. I'm gonna have to plan in the future. Like even the chair. Look at this chair. Look at this chair. This isn't the Anda seat. Look how small this chair looks compared to my Anda seat. I'm a big hulking 6-foot guy, and this seat looks like I'm sitting in like a baby's chair for like a computer chair. Anyways, so let's jump into that, shall we? We got a lot of news to cover. And it's first, again, the Rise of the Beast stuff. So there was a whole bunch of Rise of the Beast product that started showing up in retail. We're starting to get closer and closer to the movie with that June release date. And, we're exiting April, going into May. And now retail is starting to fill up with everything. Whole bunch of stuff. It's starting to look really good. And we have a whole bunch of product. We got to see the Beast Mode Optimus Prime on the top left there, which uses that Lio Convoy kind of flavoring to it. I did individual segments on these where I really break these down individually. So if you want to get more of a deeper breakdown on anything that I discuss here today, be sure to check out those individual segments if you haven't already. But we got the Lio Convoy flavored Beast Optimus Prime. Chances are the MSRP on this is going to probably be exactly like the Bumblebee at again, 49.99, which is pretty rough. But I mean, it's the gimmick. It's the Christmas, aka birthday present price point, as I like to call it. Nothing that hardcore collectors are definitely eyeing, but it is something that if a kid got a present and they wanted Transformers, this is something usually the parents look at to get the bigger kind of item. We got a super chat here from Orion Prime 13. What's up, Orion Prime 13? I have one question. Why Transformers Prime is more expensive than Transformers Animated? Are you talking about the toys? Or are you talking about the show to produce? If you were talking about the toys, it really has to do just with supply and demand. I mean, a lot of the popular Transformer Prime toys that are targeted, we're talking like first edition stuff. Like if you want the best Cliff Jumper from Transformers Prime, or you want the best Arcee, or the best Optimus Prime, or Bulkhead, a lot of those came from the first edition versions, and those ones had a very limited inventory because they showed up in Canada, they showed up in some places in Europe and Australia, and in Japan they had a small little spackling of it, and that was it really. So there was such a small amount of them that that's kind of what raised the value. And then when you look at some of the more, I guess, mainline stuff, which I think they called it Robots in Disguise was the name of the mainline. I love it when there's just no original naming conventions with Transformers sometimes, and they reuse the same ones over and over and confuses the collector market. But it really has to do with supply and demand. I mean, if you're someone that's trying to get, like those Unicrons, Japanese exclusive kind of thing, only so many of them are out there. Transformers Prime also did not do well in Japan. So if it didn't do well in Japan ratings wise, the toys also didn't do very well. So there's not a lot of them on the secondary market. So that also kind of made it difficult with some Japanese exclusive stuff. So that's a big reason. Animated was so successful that people gobbled up everything that came out. And Animated was also a much shorter line than Transformers Prime. Like the crazy thing with Transformers Animated is, I mean, I have like I'm not in the TF room now, but when you look at it side by side with Transformers Prime and even something like Transformers Cybertron that came out just a couple years before, it's a much more condensed line, much more smaller, and the fans were very passionate. So everything that came out, because it was smaller, they were able to collect everything. There wasn't a ton of price points. There literally was its core price points for each character. Maybe one or two characters would get a legend scale. There wasn't like, hey, you have Bumblebee and Activator. You have Bumblebee in its regular thing, and then okay, Bumpin' Babbler, Cyber Stomper, like it was something where there wasn't a lot to collect, so people were able to get everything. The secondary market was flush with tons of people, and it's just easier now. Obviously, there is some animated product that is expensive still, but again, no surprise. Japanese exclusive stuff. Blackout, one example. Or I mean, even Samurai Prowl at one point was going for pretty decent money, but now Prowl and I think even Blur, they've gone down in value since. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I hope that answers that question. I hope that's what you meant. I hope you meant the toys and not the show, because the show, that's a whole other different story. You're talking CG to a form of flash animation that they were using at the time of Cartoon Network. So different story with that one. But thank you for the I guess 5.99 British pounds super chat, Orion Prime 13. Thank you very much. But getting back to the Rise of the Beast stuff, uh, outside of like again this Beast Optimus, we have this Titan Changer. We got the Titan Changer Scourge, which again, it's just a heavy, extensive partial and retool of the Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. So that one's like, again, not really for us. And then if you want like the Monkey Gun, you got your Authentics, Nerf, Optimus Primal, Nerf gun. A lot of stuff that's like, you know, I'm pretty sure most of us won't, unless we get this for a buck, we're not picking it up. Let's put it that way. And then we get into stuff that's, maybe more so a chance that it might end up in our collection. So we got stuff like the Battle Masters Optimus Primal transforms into a gun. We got a better image here today that when we did the individual segment, we didn't really have that image at the time of the alt mode proper. So he's looking pretty good there in his gun mode. Again, I still stand it. It would have been cooler if he was like a mace or something. And then the Flex Changer Cheetor, which, geez, what a mess that looks like. Look at that. I don't know. Again, I know a lot of this stuff isn't for us. It's for somebody. But sometimes even me, I just go like, there's a landfill somewhere that I just feel sorry for with a lot of this stuff. I mean, even kids sometimes, you don't give kids enough credit when they have to make this kind of stuff to appeal to them. Where I just don't think, even a 5-year-old would want to own something like this when, it's kind of crazy when you think about how something like Beast Wars or even Generation 1, where the 5-year-old target demo was that mainline product, and yet now this kind of stuff exists. And I understand the Flex Changer is trying to channel a little bit of that flip changer stuff that we had back with Beast Wars and stuff. But I mean, you can't even compare. Look at this thing. It doesn't even have articulation. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. But again, the robot mode doesn't look too bad. But someone I know bought the Nightbird and was not too happy about it because it has zero articulation and it's just kind of a desk former gimmicky kind of thing. So we'll see. We will see more about those later on. But we got more Rise of the Beast. Let's jump into more. So we also got Arcee. Got crazy Arcee here. The Weaponizer Arcee with Cheetor. And we also have the mainline deluxe class Mirage that we talked about. I heavily suggest going to check out the original. Oh, we got another super chat here from Orion Prime 13. I was talking about the toys. Sorry, distraction. No, it's no problem, brother. It's no problem at all. Any super chats are always welcome. That's what they're here for, to ask questions and to take me off the track if you need to. But thanks again for the super chat, and I hope that answers your question from before. And I mean, it's tough with the Transformer Prime toys, a lot of them. But I brought, I want to say 3, 4 years ago at one of my parts parties, I brought a whole bunch of Transformer Prime stuff, and no one bought it, and it was pretty cheap, and people were hungry for animated. I remember there's people like, do you have animated Blur? Do you have animated? Who else were they looking for? Oh, the twins of Stormjet and Jetfire, and which combined to make Safeguard. They were looking for like a whole bunch of animated stuff. That was like the hot ticket item in like 2018 for some reason. I don't know. Was that a year that we had Derek Wyatt? I don't remember. But it was so weird. It's funny to see like what's popular and what isn't. But thanks again for the super chat. So back to we got Weaponizer Arcee and Cheetor here. In the individual segment, I point out like you go check out the individual segment if you are interested in the pair of these guys, because we talk about the different options that you have with these characters. Because the Weaponizer Arcee, you also have the choice of the core class from Studio Series. You also have the Battle Master. There's probably going to be other versions. And Mirage, my goodness, he has battle changers. He's going to have a Titan changer. He's going to have a Beast combiner. He has this main line. He has the Studio Series one. I'm pretty sure there's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised, with the things they're doing with Porsche and that relationship. I wouldn't be surprised if they like also did, who knows, like an MPM even. I wouldn't be surprised. So it's something where someone like Mirage too, we're kind of just comparing the options that we have right now with the Pete Davidson Transformer. So pretty cool, pretty cool. But again, check out those individual segments because I really break down what's going on between these guys and the kibble and what's happening and lack of paint in some areas on other figures and all that wackiness. And then we have a whole bunch of listings. This is where it gets a little crazy. I love how I'm not in shot every time I have to lean in to switch the the shots here. So we got a whole bunch of listings here. Most of them don't really mean anything, but we're starting to see now that the retail computer is starting to fill up with a whole bunch of new listings because we're going to be going into the second half of 2023, the movie year. We're going to have a whole bunch of brand new exclusive products, and these are all some kind of exclusives, whether it be Target, Amazon, Walmart, or Hasbro Pulse Direct. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. We discussed almost all of this already. The only thing I could really want to take away from all of this is not too long ago, Hasbro Pulse, and more specifically the Hasbro design team, kind of addressed the Hound and said, we don't know where that belongs or where it's going to go and all of that. And now we have an update on that listing for some kind of buzzworthy Bumblebee Earth Hound here. And it says 86, so it's like an 86 movie Hound, which he did appear, if you look carefully, on Optimus Prime shuttle when he first arrives. Megatron must be stopped no matter the cost. There's Hound, you could see him. I wonder if that'll be his background on his packaging. But It's something where at least there's an update on that one. So anyone that's looking to get a decent Hound for their display, it looks like it's going to be the buzzworthy Bumblebee, at least for now. I mean, we'll see what happens with that extensive retool of that old Siege mold. I'm going to assume, judging by how the pieces and parts look here with the partial. We talked about this, man. I feel like we discussed this figure. Geez, I want to say like almost 6 months ago, maybe more than that. So pretty crazy. A lot of other stuff, retros from Walmart. It looks like the G1 retros are still selling pretty well, so they're continuing that up to a Retro 8. Who knows what that's going to be at this point? Hasbro Pulse stuff. It's all direct to consumer stuff. So that's stuff that's going to be could be anything. Could be Generation Selects. Could be stuff that's going to show up through different kind of retailers and stuff like that through their partnership programs. And of course, Amazon exclusives, multi packs. E-commerce capsules like they've done in the past with the Wreckers, with the Galaxy Odyssey collection, with the Battle Across Time and Space, all of that stuff. So get ready for all of that. A lot of exclusives coming. If there's one thing I always say, Transformers is in a good kind of like state financially when all the different retailers want to have an exclusive because that tells Hasbro that the retailers recognize that Transformers is a selling brand and that they know if they could get an exclusive, which they pay up front, they cover everything. They then know right away, hey, we could get a Transformer product. It's going to bring customers in, and then we make sales. And so, judging by just how many exclusives there are, it shows that we're really in a good place right now for the Transformers brand. That's something that's always nice to see. And more listings. We got one reissue for people that missed out on the Studio Series Age of Extinction Grimlock Leader class. So if you missed out on that one, that's going to be reissued at some point through the Studio Series line, as well as two listings here with this Transformers Generations Legacy Uni line. Again, we're not sure what the Uni stands for. Universe, United, Unity, Unicron, whatever the Uni is short for. But it's going to be whatever Legacy is going to be in 2024. And we have our two first core classes for this. And yeah, it's going to be Beast Wars Dinobot and Beast Machines Cheetor. So more Beast Wars love and Beast Machines love again because we're going to be in a Beast era and then going into the post of the Beast era. And I mean, I'm down for that. A little Dinobot, you can repaint it into all kinds of different color schemes, and a Cheetor of a design that is controversial and has always had kind of some rough figures throughout the years. So we will see, but I mean that's pretty exciting. The Legacy line. What I've always loved about it is unlike when we look at like the classics era, which started in 2006 and you really like just look at it as a whole, it was very G1 leaning. And then you would get the odd Beast Wars figure every so often. Here's a Cheetor. Oddly enough, here's a Cheetor, here's a Dinobot, and then it would take a couple of years, and here's a Beast Machines character, or here's like an Armada character. But it was primarily just Generation 1. And now with Legacy, it's just such a great eclectic mix of stuff across different kinds of brands and different kinds of continuities. And to see, like, we're going into something like even Transformers Uni here, and our two core classes are not Generation 1. And the fact that they continue doing it and find success says that, it's time for a change. I've said it many times, like, we live in a world of Generation 1 longer than Generation 1 was Generation 1. Generation 1 was 1984 to, in theory, if you want to count it like really 1991, 1992 at most. So you're talking like maybe if you want to stretch it 9 years, maybe. Classics came out in 2006 and we're still going. you know, we're still going with the Generation 1 stuff. We're still going with the Optimus Prime with that chest and everything. So it's nice to see some other stuff too. Maybe it's just because when you've bought so much of the same product, you just want something different, but it's still exciting. It really is. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Really good. And that's it more or less for the news. Not much else I can really say about the news in terms of that. That's really just what we had this week. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water today because I did a lot of switching of tires. So um, I also want to cover what Aaron Archer did a live stream yesterday. Go check it out on the Toy Armado at Aaron Archer. Well, I'll do the sponsorships too to remind you guys. And Aaron did a really good segment talking about packaging and everything. And one thing that was really cool was he showed a mint in box. I might as well just bring it up. A mint in box masterpiece Optimus Prime, and he had the black gun version. And people were asking about the black gun version, the gray gun version, the blue gun version. And so I dug these up from the archive. They're a little dusty. This is the very first run, which was the gray version. This is like the rookie card of Masterpiece started right here with the 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. And he was talking about the inside of the packaging, which we didn't know that, but apparently Marcelo did the inside of the packaging. And I have an open one here too. I'll just get the open one here. So in the inside of the packaging was like this, and it was like Optimus Prime's trailer roller over there, and you got the roller little grapple guy, the little turret. And it was cool. It had the little flap here, and that was like a nice like packaging touch because it kind of worked with the top there with the Autobot logo, and it just kind of sat in there like that, which is pretty cool. Kind of an homage also to the Diaclone Battle Convoy origins, because some of the ways that it was sold, the Diaclone, was you had like the battle convoy standing like that, and it would be like a repair station, but all that nice detail. Again, I didn't know Marcelo did this, all that, so that's pretty cool. Nice little fun fact with that. So I wanted to dig that up to kind of show people because Aaron wasn't able to because he only had the black gun version. So this is the gray one. He showed the black one on his stream, which it's the same box more or less, just has the black gun. And then they did a blue one. Show you the blue one. This was a reissue that came later on for the 20th anniversary. There's the blue gun. And what was different about this one, it had a slightly different paint scheme, more of like an orangey kind of hue, and it also had a little I guess what do you call it? A matrix kind of shaped display stand, and it had a little button on it. And it's amazing, after all these years, the battery still works. See if we can get the speaking voice, because it's not Peter Cullen.
Autobot, transform and roll on.
Could have been anybody. When did this one come out? I think this one came out in 2007. I want to say. When did this come out? 2006. Okay, so it came out like 3 years after the 20th anniversary version, but pretty cool. Pretty cool, that one. Really dig it. And this was the blue version. So you see the blue gun, and this one was much more different. But again, it was all about the stand. That was the really cool thing. And that stand, years later, would be used as a promotional item with MP10 Rodimus, where he had it's the exact same mold of the stand, but it has Japanese phrases from Rodimus Convoy. And that goes for pretty decent money now. It goes for like $200, just the stand. We got a gold super chat. I have no idea what currency that is, but it is a gold super chat, so I appreciate that. Francesco Javier, greetings from Chile. Okay, so it's Chilean currency. Do you think we will get a Studio Series 86 Devastator? So, funny story with that. So, Mark talked about Devastator. I want to believe it was a private chat, but when he's talking with a private chat, it's public stuff because he would never say anything that would compromise surprises or anything. And the conversation came up of like, a Devastator, right? And it could happen. It's something where I feel that they would, because it's all about trademarks. It's all just, okay, they just did Devastator, like a box set with Studio Series movie, Revenge of the Fallen. They got that trademark out. They used the trademark. Boom. In theory, I mean, they could if they wanted, but we don't have to now do anything for 4 years. So they probably are just kicking back and going, hey, man, if we ever need to do another Titan class, we could just reissue that Devastator again, or we could do a new one. So it's something where I could see them doing it, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if they just take that Combiners Wars one and use it again. I mean, I'm not saying that the Combiners Wars one is like some amazing thing or something. Oh, Aaron's here. Oh, there he is. Aaron, I was just showing off this boy because you were talking about it yesterday, and then the inside that Marcelo worked on. This is a loose one here I have, and then the blue version. Again, go watch Aaron's segment to understand what I'm yapping about, but we'll plug that later. But getting back to Francesco's question, I think it'll happen. I think it will. I mean, I've always said Legendary 7. Legendary 7, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Grimlock, and Devastator. You know, those guys you will see in perpetuity forever. 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 You know, you will never not see those characters. It's just of those seven, number 7, which is Devastator, because he's a combiner and has that baggage of, well, where do you fit that in? You do fit it in. You just do it every 4 years. You know, oh, there's a Creo set. We'll do a Creo Devastator. Oh, there's a Energon set. Oh, there's a Combiner Wars set. They'll always stick it somewhere. You know, they'll always figure out something. I wouldn't be surprised, like, you know, if the opportunity presented itself, they would have done it in animated, and then that would have bought them 4 years. They always figure out a way to kind of throw it in there somewhere. I don't feel that it will be the next Combiner brand new. I still stand by if they wanted, if like, what's going to be the sequel to Menasor from Legacy? Like, that's another question a lot of people ask me. I feel it's going to be an Autobot team because we got a Decepticon one. Now they're going to want to do an Autobot team, and I think it's going to be Superion. I really do. I would prefer Defensor, but I really think it's going to be Superion. I think they're going to do the Jets, and then the Jets will have all kinds of repaint and remold, you know, potential from that, just like they did with the original ones, and they'll just take it from there, and they'll go crazy. I'm pretty sure. Um, I don't think they'll do HasLab Devastator. HasLab, the thing with HasLab is I feel like there is no kind of rule anymore with HasLab. Like, the only thing that they said, and even then, I don't know if they'll stick to it, but they said they don't want to do leaders. So they don't want to do like they said they'll never do an Optimus Prime. Obviously, they did Star Saber, and that's a leader, and so is Deathsaurus. But I think what they mean leaders is, like, you know, mainstream leaders here in the West. So they don't want to do an Optimus Prime. They don't want to do a Megatron. If they did do a Devastator, I mean, maybe. It's something where I feel that if they did do a Devastator, I think it would be more profitable for them to do it as a mainstream item, because instead of just, you know, like, let's say hypothetically they do something that was as big as, not, let's say not as big as Unicron, but as big as the Titan class Devastator. And what do they need? They need 8,000 units, let's say, to make it happen. Let's say 9,000. It's more worth it for them to have it shipped to every Walmart, every Target, you know, just the United States, every Walmart. That's 3,000 Walmarts, 2 per case. So you're already talking 6,000 units there if they only bought one case. You know, every Target, what is there, 2,800 Targets in the United States? So that's another, right over there, 6,000 units, you know, and again, double that up because it's 2 per case. So it's like, just Targets and Walmarts just in the United States, assuming they only bought one case, and that's way more units already sold than anything that a HasLab would do. HasLab stuff is for that dicey stuff, you know, like, anyone who saw how big that Unicron box is, you don't go to Target or Walmart and go, hey, we want this washing machine sized box. We want to put that in your toy aisle, when they don't even have that kind of space for, like, the arcade cabinets, the one-up cabinets that they do. So it's pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, thank you for the gold super chat. You know, that's a profound one, because it's one that we always have to think about, because Devastator is a name that we will be seeing pop up more and more in the future. Always, we will always, forever. You know, like, I mean, I love Hot Rod, but we're going to see Devastator more than we'll ever see a Hot Rod. Retro Cabal, aka David Cabal. What's up, David? Hi, Protoman. Can you tell Evan to make a 86 Springer? Well, I mean, I always felt the Siege one did a pretty good job. I think that if you did a Studio Series 86 Springer, the only difference between the Siege one and that one would be the just semantics. You know what I mean? It would just be like the little things here and there. Wouldn't be too much. It would just be little things. It would be like, oh, maybe make the fin a little larger, maybe like the proportions a little different, or maybe the coloring a little different, but otherwise it would be more or less the same product. So it was pretty good the first time, you know. And Springer was a toy that always had a tough design history because, I mean, there was a point where it's like if Hasbro was going to do a Springer toy or Fun Publications, it was like we're going to do that one repaint that's of that one alt mode. It's like, hey, let's take EDC Hot Shot, Super Hot Shot, and let's paint that as Springer. Or let's take Evac, aka Live Convoy from Cybertron, and let's repaint that as Springer because it's just the one helicopter mode. Or even some of the movie versions. Let's take Incinerator, the Legend scale, and repaint that as Springer because it's just a helicopter. It is what it is. But I think it'll happen one day. I think it will. I think they'll do one because he's due for a trademark refresh soon, I believe. I believe so. I don't think there was any other Springers. Oh, there was that Wreckers one that came out with Amazon. Ooh, there you go. That sets you back. Again, they could totally do something tomorrow if they want to, but legally they don't have to do anything for a while. That's why, because that's the good thing is when you have the legality part where it's like, oh, they haven't done it in 4 years, they got to do it now. So then you're more guaranteed. Where if they did something like just last year, sometimes if they don't want to, they'll wait 4 years before they have to do another character again. So Mikey and Louie, sorry we're late. What's up, everyone? What's up, Mikey and Louie? Springer A, where's our remold of G1 Sandstorm already? Well, I would prefer. I mean, if we got a new Sandstorm, I would like a brand new tooling. I think I think Sandstorm deserves to have something like brand new from the ground up. I always felt that he was the weakest of the original molds, like the original G1 molds. I always felt he was the weakest of the bunch in terms of a toy. I felt his helicopter mode wasn't that great. I felt that his dune buggy mode wasn't that great. His robot mode wasn't that great. But in the show, he was kind of a cool character, friends with Octane and stuff. So I kind of dug that, and it was just something where I was like, well, it would be cool if he had a decent figure. And yeah, he did get that Generations one that was an extensive retool of I'll call it the Wreckers version, Generation Springer that we got during the Thrilling 30. But I mean, it'd be really cool to get a nice, good reimagination that does justice to those three designs because that's always been the issue with triple changers is in the past, always one side, one form suffers. Either like, Astro Train. It's like robot mode, kind of cool. And I'm talking the original toys. Robot mode, kind of cool. Space shuttle mode. Ooh, you already start seeing the robot mode bits all over it, and you can really see the robot mode. And then the train mode. Oh, pretty cool. Good kind of shell former kind of twist with the wings and stuff. And then you look at something like Blitzwing. It's like, okay, tank mode, kind of cool. Jet mode. Oh, they kind of get away with the jet mode. Robot mode. Oof, robot mode's kind of rough. It's kind of like with my shoulders hurt. It's like this. So there's always one that kind of suffers. It's always a tough one. Always. But yeah. So we'll go into some sponsorship stuff until we get some more super chats, and then we'll talk about maybe some plumbers, shall we? So let's get into our sponsors. We'll first talk about Symbiote Studios. Our plush, our pins, and our t-shirts. I unfortunately am not wearing one of the pins today, and the plushes are downstairs. Although I actually do have some Symbiote Studios plushes here, but they're nothing that's unfortunately available on the store right now. It's some of their more vintage video game stuff from back in the day. They're Shantae and what was the other ones from River City Girls. Got all their stuff too when they were working with limited run games and everything. But yeah, Symbiote Studios, plush pins and t-shirts, the official Transformer plush pins and t-shirts, the best of the best. No one better. Go check them out, yo. All their good stuff. Get the new upgraded versions of the animation accurate ones, and of course, all the others that are coming in the near future. I mean, I'm still waiting on the okay. I've seen the prototypes. I've seen the stuff for 2023. We're just waiting for the okay from Hasbro to let them know, hey, let's show the world the next of Symbiote Studios Plush and all the really good stuff. And it's some really good stuff, let me tell you. But at the same time, guys, pick up the others while you can. That Grimlock sells out every single time. Pick up that Shockwave because that Shockwave is big and beautiful. Pick up the Hound because he just reminds me of a watermelon and he chills on my couch. And the Seekers. Come on. It's when these sell out, guys, you're gonna feel bad. Like when the past one sold out, people were complaining. Same thing, like that Unicron. That was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. There was limited amounts, and then it was gone, and that was it. That was it. So it's something where, don't miss out on your chance, man. This is an ongoing Plush initiative. There's so much more, but it is what it is. It's really good stuff. And of course, there's all the others. There's all the other Hasbro brands. Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony. Got the My Little Pony stuff right there for Scott. Scott loves My Little Pony in the chat, so he's totally going to pick up that Pinkie Pie there. He says he hates Plush, but he loves My Little Pony. Trust me. I know Scott very well. He's going to want that one. He's going to get the pins. He's going to get the plush. He's getting everything. Everything. But yeah, I'm just joking, Scott. Anyways, check it out, symbiotestudios.com, and of course, And Deceits. But I apologize, And Deceits, because I'm using this terrible thing. Again, look at how I look like a giant next to this stupid thing. This is the seat I got rid of, and I threw it up here in this room. But this is what I'm rocking downstairs in the TF room, the beautiful And Deceits, the Transformer one. So go check those out. AndDeceits.com, and use promo code Protoman to get 15% off your first order. Get some good Transformer seats with lower lumbar support, magnetic clasps, and all kinds of other cool stuff. I love it. And Deceits. And not only that, let's talk about the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We just talked about him before, but let's talk about him again. We have the latest episode that's been out for a couple of weeks now where we talk about the super base Optimus Prime from Transformers Armada, talk about the entire history, how it was developed, all the different variants and repaints throughout the years. Go check that out. Nice. I think it's like an hour and a half we talked about it. So if you want to have a nice long form, sit down, just listening to me and Aaron Archer, the creator of much of your childhood for the past, dare I say, 20 years. A lot of good stuff there. Go check it out. And of course, go check out his recent live stream that he did on Friday. It should be up in the archive on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. He talked about packaging and stuff like that due to the recent turnaround by Hasbro to put windows back on stuff again in a more in a cost-friendly nature. There's the whole double-sided meaning with a lot of that stuff. It's corporate stuff. What do you want? And of course, with Aaron Archer, get the Art of Transforming Robots Volume 1 Black and White Edition. Almost sold out. Going to be retired soon. Don't miss out on this opportunity because when it's gone, it's gone. And then Volume 2 will be rolling out. And it'll be a completely different book. And you don't want to have to deal with the secondary market of picking up these art books. Let me tell you. $20 gets you the book. The extra $15 gets you the book and gets you an autograph and a sketch of your choice, of your character, of your choosing on the inside of the book. Check it out on archermonster.com/shop. Good stuff there. And if you're, if you want the art book, you could also check out the other stuff on the shop website. There's also paintings, all kinds of really cool stuff there too. I believe he also posted. Oh, it's a shame I'm not in the TF room. He put the deluxe guidebooks. Probably should have pulled it off of my shelving. The Generations Deluxe Guidebooks, which is like the best Transformer guidebook in my opinion from the Japanese. He has some that are up there too with some art. So go check it out, archermonster.com/shop, or just check out the whole website itself. A lot of good stuff there. So, what are we going to be talking about otherwise? We'll be taking super chats if you have any other Transformer questions. But I'm going to jump into this right here because I kind of like Super Mario. It's kind of hard to tell with this angle. The game room is pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy room. It stretches It's crazy. I wish I could do you guys justice and show you this room, but so I didn't get to see the movie last week when it debuted because of anyone who saw last last week with the podcast. Uh, we had an ice storm, lost power, couldn't do the live stream even from home. The theaters were freaking out, so didn't happen. But I got to see it this week, and I have to say, I love it. I think the movie did everything it needed to do. I mean, number one, I'm going to address the elephant in the room that a lot of people were saying. A lot of the critics were ragging on it, but I'm going to say this again. This is one of these kind of movies that goes against everything that Hollywood is doing right now. I mean, politically, it goes against everything Hollywood is doing politically. It goes against everything Hollywood is doing visually. It's going against everything Hollywood and critics, they don't matter. They really don't. Because think of whatever your favorite movies are. Think of all the movies that are the best selling movies of all time. Any Marvel movie or even like older stuff, Avengers and even stuff like E.T. None of that stuff, none of that stuff that you love ever wins Academy Awards or any kinds of Oscars and stuff. All of that stuff doesn't mean anything. And the critics don't mean anything. It's a bunch of old guys who don't even know what a mushroom is in the Mushroom Kingdom, and they're giving their opinions. Who cares? And again, a lot of those critics, and you have to remember, a lot of these critics are paid by these movie studios to give positive and negative opinions to move the narrative. I mean, something like Rotten Tomato is controlled by the movie industry. And it doesn't surprise me that something like this that is going to upset them. Because when I saw this, and I said it before on the live stream, you could quote me. Leading up to it, I was talking about this on the live stream. I said that this movie's going to make $1 billion. And I stand by that. This movie has been out barely 2 weeks, and it's already on track to make $1 billion. It's destroying. It's destroying. And it's because it does everything that people want, that they've been bored with Hollywood. Disney is dead. Disney is dead. Like, I love Marvel, but Marvel is dead now because of Disney. Star Wars, I love Star Wars, but Star Wars is dead now because of Disney. Disney killed everything. And because they killed everything, it's kind of like how Marvel and DC ruined the comic book era in the late 90s and ruined the speculator boom and killed the comic book industry, and companies almost went bankrupt over it, including Marvel. Actually, they did technically. So it's something where Disney kind of poisoned the well of the movie industry, and then something like this comes around, and you look at the numbers. Like, look at Avatar 2 compared to this. This thing's going to pass Avatar 2, and Avatar 2's been out, like, what, a month now? And this thing's going to just, like, yahoo, right past Avatar 2, Like, it's destroying. Destroying. Why? Because this movie does what Hollywood isn't doing right now. Hollywood is too busy being political, being stupid. They don't want to tell a story. They all sit around and they all have different people in the room that shouldn't be there, controlling the narrative of stuff and being stupid and ruining great IPs, great brands where everyone could make money. And when I mean everyone, I mean the actors who work on it, the people who write it, and everything afterwards from a licensing standpoint, growing businesses, and the domino effect that comes when you have a good IP. Or you could just take an IP, ruin it with your own agenda, and then ruin opportunities. And Disney is one of those companies that, at this point now, I feel like they're almost just doing it all. They don't care anymore because they have so much money and they have so many simps that just love them regardless of what they do. I mean, I haven't seen a Marvel movie in theaters in forever. I think it was Endgame. I got my Thanos fix and I was done. I'm like, okay, see you later. Enjoy the rest of your boring movies. I'll go see you on, I'll illegally bootleg it. I don't care. I don't even and I haven't even watched them. I haven't seen, God, what was the last Disney movie I watched that was of the new ones? I don't even care, And this is coming from a guy who has a whole Marvel DC comic book room. I have rooms in this house dedicated to this stuff, And it's something where I love that stuff, but I don't love Disney Marvel. I don't. I don't like Disney Marvel. I've never liked Disney. As a kid, I grew up not liking Disney. To me, Disney was never cool, It was like, okay, Aladdin, yeah, that's fine, I guess. oh, it's just based off of a story that you stole anyways, Disney, because you don't have any original ideas in your head anyways. And I mean, in all honesty, it was Robin Williams who saved that movie, and he didn't want to be there either. So it's it's crazy. It's crazy. And then Mario comes around and goes, hold my beer, or hold my pasta in this case, and just shows him how it's done. You know? And the movie is amazing. You know? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You don't care for my political slant. Okay. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these companies now, they're rich, they sit around, and then they wonder, how could we steer things? And what I love about the Mario movie is it doesn't really do that. Like the only negative thing that I've ever seen about the Mario movie, and it's more so just people who are ignorant of the lore of Super Mario, is people going, oh, I don't like Peach being like, they use the term a girl boss. But I mean, Princess Toadstool's history, going all the way back as a playable character. Super Mario Brothers 2. She's a girl boss then. She's, in my opinion, as someone who plays, I'm not going to pull it off the shelf right now, but, as someone who plays Super Mario 2, Princess Peach, or Toadstool as she was called in the game, is easily the best character in Super Mario 2. So, girl boss right there. Super Mario RPG, you know? She's the best team. Gino, Mario, and Princess Peach for healing. Girl boss right there. You don't put Bowser on your team or Mallow, So, like, even pre-2000s, I already named two games right there that where she's a big deal and being something a powerful character. Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Yeah, she got kidnapped once in a while, but she was also a member of the cast. I mean, it's something where, you know, people don't realize how much is written in between the lines in that movie that they were pulling from lore standpoint. That scene, which by the way, it's on YouTube right now. Illumination put it on their YouTube channel, where Peach is going through the obstacle course. Man, there's like a million things going on there that are like homages to, like, the fact that she floats, the fact that she does this. I mean, she's in Smash Brothers kicking butt, and she has her kick. She didn't do her Peach butt attack, but it's just people need to understand that that movie was a labor of love. It didn't compromise anything for anybody. At no point did it say, oh, we got to do this to make this group or that group or any other group happy. It told the story of two Italian plumbers from Brooklyn who find some pipes and go to a magic mushroom kingdom of mushrooms that are wearing Arabian Night outfits, a princess based off of Allura from Disney movies, fighting a giant lizard that spits fire from the old tale of medieval times. And that's it. And tell that simple story. Mix in a little bit of Luigi's Mansion. Mix a little bit of Mario Kart. Hey, Congo Bongo, DK, Donkey Kong, DK. This is the Japanese manga from back in the day. See, there's Peach there. Look at them with all of the barrels. There's Pauline too, 'cause she's my girl. She's chilled back there. It's Pauline. you know, it's like, I mean, guys, like it's the people who were ragging on the movie either were too old, and when I mean too old, I'm near 40, and the people who were ragging on this movie were in their 60s, and they're like, I don't understand this. Okay, that's great. Well, let me tell you something. If you weren't like here when Mario and Luigi got the star and heard that theme, if you weren't here, then that movie wasn't for you. The second they touch that star, and I apologize if this is a little bit of spoiler, but and then you hear the theme, and then everything that came afterwards, and you weren't getting something here, you should have just walked out of that theater and accepted that you weren't going to understand this. And that's fine if you don't understand it, but it wasn't for you. But I'll tell you something, the near $1 billion that this movie's going to make, there was clearly people who did get it, and it wasn't you, you know? What do we got here? What do we got here? Orion Prime 13, I guess he wants to get some more Transformer chat here. Did Legacy live up to the hype of Transformers Prime and animated figures, as fans of Transformers Prime are kind of mixed love and weirded out? Well, Mark and Evan said they tried to find a house-style compromise of balancing the styles with the Arcee and the Bulkhead. I don't think the fans are pretty much happy with them. I don't like. I mean, even the knockout that we got, not that great. The Skyquake is good, but the Skyquake is good because it's trying to do a lot of things. The Skyquake is also being Skyquake, but it's also being G2 UK Skyquake or G1 UK Skyquake, whatever you want to call it. You know, the Predators. It's being a lot of, and then the repaint potential of that King Atlas, Machine War, Starscream. So that one kind of it's doing double duty in a lot of different areas. So that's why people like that one. But all the others, people have been kind of yeah, you know. People were weirded out by the animated stuff. So far, looks good, but I haven't messed with the Prowl yet. I have to see it in person because it looks good, but it's also one of those figures that I think I need to like tactically hold it before I'll pass my judgment. I haven't seen him in retail yet. I know it's been in retail because I've seen his wave assortments, but someone keeps buying it, so clearly it's doing well. Where are we at here? Hope I didn't miss anything. I got the feels at Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road was great too. Didn't have the Rainbow Road theme though. The what's her name, Sequoia, who did the original theme of Rainbow Road back in the day for Mario Kart. Didn't hear her theme in the background. Would have been nice to have that there. But yeah, I think it was a great movie. I think it was fantastic. It did what it needed to do. I think that it set the pins up for what is going to come. And what's more important than anything else is this, because this is the reality. You could have political agendas, you could do everything you want, but all that matters in the end is money. Money is the only thing that matters in this world, and money talks. And that's all any company cares about. They could virtue signal, they could say anything they want, but money is all that matters. And this movie is going to make every single movie studio wake up and go, huh, how do we get in on this? In the same way that the success of that first Batman movie in '89, that was successful, and then every movie studio scrambled to make their own comic book movie. And it's the same thing that happened with the Transformer movie. When that was successful, I'm talking not '86, I'm talking Michael Bay 2007. When that was successful, and then all of a sudden everyone scrambled to find an old '80s property or '90s property to make into a movie. So it's the same thing. Now people are going to go like, huh, this Mario movie is making Avatar money. We like money. How do we make more money? So it's going to make movie studios think. It's going to make them think. And what makes me happy is if Illumination and the relationship that they have with Nintendo continues, we're going to see, just pull this down here, signed by Princess Zelda. We're going to see maybe this guy here, signed by Princess Zelda, her voice actor. We're going to see this guy here. We're going to see, Metroid. Someone asked Miyamoto uh, if they would do Star Fox. That's another one too. I would love to see some Star Fox love after all these years. I feel like Miyamoto has to love Star Fox because people don't realize it. His daughter married one of the co-creators of Star Fox. So it's almost like it's a nepotism kind of thing. You got to bring Star Fox back every so often. Orion Prime 13 talking about movies. Do you think Transformers is going to be more popular than Marvel, like back in 2007, 2011? Um, well, it's a different time. Like that first Iron Man movie came out in what was that, 2008, 2009. I mean, the Marvel movies, you can't take away the brand power that they've built up to this point. It has a strong international appeal. It attracts every single gender, both male and female are into Marvel movies, where Transformers is a very, yes, there's female fans in Transformers, but it's a very few demographic to Transformers. It's still a very male oriented brand, and where Marvel could have a mixture of both. I mean, women go to see a Thor movie, and it's not for the swinging of the hammer, if you know what I mean. So it's something where you have to make sure that you have a brand that has just a good appeal. Transformers was bigger than Marvel back then, just because Marvel wasn't firing at all cylinders at that time. I don't think Transformers could beat Marvel unless Marvel just continues to shoot itself in the foot. I think that Rise of the Beast might do well financially compared to some Marvel movies. Like I don't think. I mean, the thing with the Marvel movies is that the movies aren't necessarily good, and but it's just people go to see them out of FOMO. Like there's Marvel movies that are absolutely terrible, but there's this continuing narrative. Well, if you don't see this Marvel movie, then you're not going to understand this Netflix special in 3 days. But already we saw how Ant-Man Quantumania, and I don't hate Ant-Man. I actually liked the first and second Ant-Man movies, so I would actually like to see the third one. But it's something where the Quantumania movie didn't do well. It didn't meet the numbers that they were hoping for. So it tells me right away there, people are starting to get bored with the superhero movies, and they might be looking at the video game stuff now. And you're also talking what's called a sliding demographic. I always talk about sliding demographics. It's always the 18 to 20 somethings. You know, you're the most valuable, important, spending money people are the 18 to 25, sometimes the 25s to 35s, but it's really the 18 to 25s. And those kids, Mario and video games are a multi-generational brand. Kids who are in their 40s now grew up with Mario. Kids who are in their 30s grew up with Mario. Kids who are in their 20s grew up with Mario. Kids who are 10 years old are growing up with Mario. But Marvel stuff really, me, I grew up with Marvel cartoons. I had the Marvel comics growing up, but not a lot of kids grew up with Marvel. And so there's people that also don't have that nostalgic, romantic connection. They just went to see the movies because they didn't want to feel like they're missing out in a chapter of the story. But then the second it's like dominoes. The second you take a few pieces out of the dominoes, all of a sudden they don't feel like they have to play the game anymore. And so if they miss out a few movies, I skipped this one, I skipped that one, and then before you know it, they don't have FOMO anymore, and they skip all the Marvel movies, and they go, oh, I'll wait for it when it's on Disney Plus, or I'll wait for it when it's on, online, dubious means, you know. So it is kind of a reality. Lizard Sphere X, oh geez, imagine the true to Pokemon games, and moving the same vein as Adventures. If you're referring to Pokemon Adventures, the manga, that would be amazing. I imagine, I mean, I've talked about this in the past. The Detective Pikachu movie would have done well if they didn't go about it that detective. And I'm not saying the Detective Pikachu movie was bad. I'm saying the way they decided to do their very first live action Pikachu movie was not a Pikachu movie. Pokemon movie was not the right way. But whenever they will revisit it, if they ever do, I don't think they will anytime soon. I don't think they need to do a live action Pokemon anything outside of like another Detective Pikachu sequel. Pokemon just does so well on its own, just as anime, CG movies, video games. I'm looking at the wall of Pokemon stuff above me. Every original copy. I have like, see, like here, to show you how OG I am. Like here, original red and blue in the box. Just to show you how serious I am. You know, but like it's something where Pokemon doesn't need to do live action to like continue its brand with the Pokemon company. Where and Mario doesn't need this movie either, but this movie woke up a monster. It really did. It really, really did. It woke up something that's gonna just it's gonna blow up everything. We're gonna get a Zelda movie. If they play their cards right, we're gonna get a Metroid movie. There's so much here because Illumination and Nintendo now have this relationship because they already were working very closely and loving it and being respectful to each other. And now they made money doing all of that. So think about that. You have this great relationship, you're having a great time, you're doing everything, you're putting something together, you're being true to source material, and then on top of it all, you made a lot of money. You're gonna do it again. You're gonna do it again. Scott hates Pokemon also. Wow, Scott, you just are nothing but hate. Terrible. Life is about love, my friend, not hate. If you end up alone in the future, you'll figure out why. Um, Retro Cabal, who's an awesome guy of love. I love Retro Cabal. Anyone see Dungeons and Dragons? I heard it was fun. I want to see it. Like I'm not a big D&D guy. I'm not a big D&D guy, but I want to see the movie. It's just that, I'm not a big go to theater guy. It's got to be something good. It's got to be something good. If I'm going to a theater to see a movie, it's got to be something I really want to see, you know? Retro Cabal, what are your theories for a sequel for a Super Mario 2? Well, everyone was always saying, like, oh, why wasn't this in the movie? Why wasn't that in the movie? You can't put everything in the first movie. You got to set it up. Well, we got. See, I don't want to spoil, so I'll just. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will say this: like, you know, I could see them bringing in Bowser Jr. This is a good point. Someone's got to rescue Bowser, so I could see them bringing in Bowser Jr. I see talks online about Wario showing up, which would be fantastic because I love Wario. I love Wario as a character. The Wario games are some of my favorite games, just because they're like platformer puzzle solver, which are always really fun. So like if Wario is a factor, that'd be really fun too. I'm really curious who they would get to voice him because he has that very like Um, I could just, you could do that. You bring in Wario, and then see now, you told the story. You told the point A to point B story. Princess Peach, she got technically captured. The marriage thing, all the stuff that was kind of pulled from different source material. Now you could do a sequel movie, and then you could pull new things. You could have a scene in the movie that's just like a quick throw to like Mario Golf or Mario Tennis before getting into an actual story of Wario looking for treasure or Wario, stealing, the Princess Peach's castle because he's crazy like that and he wants to have his own castle. There's so many ways that you could write it. And of course, Scott hates Wario. Well, Scott, you hate everything. And hate only festers. You hate my boy DK? Donkey Kong. um, but anyways, Alice Emma, WarioWare. Oh, I love the WarioWare games. I have them all on the other side of this shelving here. I love the WarioWare games. Oh my goodness, they are fantastic. Um, Wife and I really liked it. Glad to hear that. I'm sorry if I've been missing anything. Aaron Archer says I watched the first Pokemon when I got the license when they got the license at Kenner. It was one of the first American hits to see the show. What? I was one of the first of the Americans to see the show outside of Japan. Well, you know what? Like that was a really smart move by Hasbro too, because Hasbro already had that relationship with Tomy. And Tomy, I wish I had. They're all in the other room. Tomy was the one doing the little PVCs in Japan at the time, and so you could see already Hasbro had that relationship with Takara, with Tomy. So it's like they're already building those seeds to then import those toys, and those toys it was like a no-brainer. Take those little PVCs, maybe change the paint a little bit for the budget for the 3 packs for the Hasbro releases of the 3 packs of Charmander or whatever, and then laugh to the bank. Man, did they make money like that opening year of Pokemon, like 98, 99. Goodness gracious. Like, I wish I had some of this stuff around me. Most of it is obviously in the other room. This is more the Super Mario, Mega Man kind of stuff with a little bit of Street Fighter. All the video game stuff is here, but like the Pokemon merch is in the other room because it's more anime in my display mind. And it's a lot more displaying Pokemon stuff, but geez, like, man, was that a lot of money made that first year. Uh, Finally put YG in Smash, but how would he play? How would he play is the question. He's the skinny guy. Is he going to throw bombs on an arc? Ron Diaz with the super chat. Hope I didn't miss anyone's super chats. I apologize. Let me just check quickly. Okay, no. Ron Diaz with the super chat for $5. Could Hasbro be inspired by Super Mario Bros. Success to invest more into animated movies? Maybe a sequel into Transformers '86 or revisiting a way. So supposedly we do have a cracking new water here. We have an animated movie coming. Animated, not like animated Derek Wyatt animated, but animated movie coming. We just don't know what it's going to be. It's probably going to be something G1 flavored because that's always the safe bet. I'm sure we'll get something. I'm sure we'll get something. We'll get something good. Alice Devil Mario 3 on GBA was one of my favorite 2D Marios. Well, the GBA remakes of those Mario games were really good because it opened up a lot more, like, because Mario 3, you weren't able to go back in worlds, but the GBA versions allowed you to do that, which was pretty cool, and replaying, which was a nice aspect. That's something that was introduced in Mario World. I mean, man, I wish I could show you guys, like, the video game stuff, but see, this is the wall here that I'm still building. But like all the consoles and stuff is all here. You can't see it, unfortunately, and I don't want to mess with the camera too much because just getting it set up in here was crazy enough as it is. With all the Mega Man stuff here. What we got here anyway? This is all the Protoman shrine. See all one face of guys. Gee, who's that guy? Red guy with a shield, or red guy with a shield, or red guy with a shields, or red guys with shields, or red guys with shields. Gee, I wonder who that is. Let's see. They were the very best, like no one ever was. But it's to me again that Mario movie is it's gonna be a game changer. It really is. It really is. It's gonna change everything for how Hollywood's gonna do stuff in the future. It really is. And they're gonna have to wake up to it because it's kind of ridiculous how long they've been willing to go on and put out product and break even and then pat themselves on the back about like writing some great story, and it's just like no, and we live in a world today where we don't have the retail rental market anymore. You don't have like 100 blockbusters in every state buying 20 copies of a VHS and it being like kind of like a second movie release. I think it was, what was it, Hot Ones, that Hot Wing YouTube channel. I forget which actor had them on, but he talked about how by not having the video rental market anymore, movies, they don't make as much money as they used to after they leave theater, and so you got to really make your money during that time. Do I have any Bomberman stuff? I have tons of Bomberman stuff. I love Bomberman. Love Bomberman. Some beat 'em on, but mostly just OG Bomberman stuff. I have I don't want to reach for it now, but I have like even the old promo styluses and stuff. Um, Red Guardian. Yeah. Where am I at here? I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, it's something that I think we're going to reach a point now where we're probably going to see more Mario stuff that's going to maybe even reflect this. I'm pretty sure Miyamoto is now going like, oh, the world really likes this movie. The world really likes what we did in this movie. Maybe we're going to take a little bit of what the movie did here and sprinkle that into the games. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. And they have another Nintendo Direct or something coming up soon. So there's going to be interesting to see what goes down. But I really wanted to just kind of just talk about that a bit. I apologize it hasn't been Transformer related too much, but it's important to talk about because it is going to also affect Transformers in a small sense, because the success of one thing wakes up other companies. And something that's going on here, look, Jax is the company that owns the toys for the Super Mario stuff, and Hasbro is paying attention to what's going on, that's for sure. Alice Devil, can Proto beat Super Mario 1 in less than 5 minutes? Oh, I can't speedrun it in less than 5 minutes. I could beat it, maybe in 10 minutes, maybe. I mean, if I'm allowed to use warps, yeah. But 5 minutes, no, I can't speedrun it. I could practice, maybe, but I doubt it. Retro Cabal says, bring back Blockbuster. I always loved, someone posted this on my wall on Facebook years ago, and I love it because it's something I always like to think about. You guys could post it, you could super chat it, I'll read yours out loud, but I always say, so it's Blockbuster, it's Friday night, it's Blockbuster Friday night. You have a choice of one movie, one snack, so a snack could be like a chocolate bar, popcorn, whatever, chips, one snack, one drink, So you could have like any soda, orange juice, root beer, whatever, milk, one drink, and one video game. So it's Friday night. You're 12 years old with your mom or dad. It's a Blockbuster night. You get to rent one game, get one movie, any movie, one snack, and one drink. What is it? And me, I always say 86 movie because I didn't own the 86 movie until I was like, geez, I want to say like 15. So, and that was the Rhino VHS release, which came out in 97, 98. I want to say 98. So 86 movie. The game at the time, it probably would have been Mega Man 8 for PlayStation 1 because I didn't own it until years later and I used to rent it like crazy because I love Mega Man 8. It's such an underrated Mega Man game that no one talks about because all the really good RPGs I would always go out of my way to own, but to rent. Uh, a snack at the time, because again, I'm putting it in time context, like 1997, 1998. Cookies and cream, Hershey's bar, I guess. Really like that one. Very sweet today. I probably would never eat it today, but back then. And cream soda. Cream soda, because I love cream soda. But again, wouldn't have it today. I've tried to watch my health, but back then would have killed it. I'll read some of my green names here that posted some of them. Let's see. So we got Bigham says Terminator 2, good choice. Easily the best Terminator movie. Got to meet the actress who was Sarah Connor. Very nice lady. She was at the Toronto show. Reese's Pieces, fantastic choice. Love Reese's Pieces. Mountain Dew. Not a big Mountain Dew guy. Not a big Mountain Dew guy. Never was one. And Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Yeah. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. I got all my MK figures back there. I even have some of my. Here, I'll show you some rare MK stuff. Let me show you this. So I picked these up. From a Mexican collector. These are Mexican bootlegs of Mortal Kombat. Came from a magazine that they had over there. This is supposed to be Raiden. I have the hat somewhere. Then you got a shirtless Kano. And then my favorite Mortal Kombat character, the Reptile. Look at that. These are really cool. They kind of like they bootleg like anyone remembers Sectars? Kind of reminds me of the Sectars body. Sectors. I'm so like dry today. Link CW says Evil Dead 1 or 2. I would go with 2 over 1, but that's your call. Mortal Kombat also. And M&M's, but what's your drink, Link CW? You need a drink too. Got to wash it all down. Paul with the $5 super chat. And the movie could be sold out, so you better go to Blockbuster stores early. Sometimes. It'd be nice if, you know what, like maybe it's just because I'm nostalgic, but my first job that I ever had was working at a movie store. I was very lucky. I lived across the street from Video Illusion. Shout out to Salim, my first boss I ever had. I worked at a video store. It started because he had the Street Fighter 2 arcade machine in the back, and I used to always hang out there. And then he needed someone to, put away buttons and put away tapes and stuff like that. And so got my first job there. So I have a heavy nostalgia for video stores growing up. And it's how I played 90% of my games because I wasn't rich when I was a kid. So renting was very crucial in playing video games. I don't want to miss anyone's post here because some of these are really good. Ashnud says Final Fantasy 3 3 or 6. So you're meaning because Final Fantasy Super Nintendo Final Fantasy 3 was 6 in Japan. So we'll say Final Fantasy 6. And Jurassic Park. What's your snack and your drink? But I will get that Final Fantasy 6 is a very solid choice. Easily a top 5 Super Nintendo game. Definitely a top 5 RPG of all time. If not the best Final Fantasy game of all time, in my opinion. Jurassic Park is the best of all the Jurassic Park movies. And Jurassic World. Retro Cabal movie, Mortal Kombat. People love saying the Mortal Kombat movie because that movie is fantastic. That's a great reptile scene too. Snack, red vines. Oh yeah, man. Red vines are really good. Red vines are better than Twizzlers. And I will fight anyone that says that. I agree with you there. A lot of people, because it's funny, because red vines aren't that common in Canada, but there was this like little I'm gonna use a French term, dépanneur, but there was like a little bodega that was near my high school that used to carry red vines, and I don't know why. It was this old Jewish couple. They would get all these like New Yorker candies, I guess because of the Jewish community there, and they used to always have red vines, and they were so good. And like I never saw them anywhere else afterwards. You just have to deal with licorice Twizzlers and stuff afterwards. It's not the same thing. Your drink is Mountain Dew. Again, another Mountain Dew person. And N64 South Park with the cow gun. Oh yeah, I have that game. And then the last boss of that game is the Mega Man, the big Mega Man, not related to Mega Man, but like Cartman's Mega Man. Oh my God, I haven't played that in forever. That I haven't played that in like 25 years easily. That's a great game. It had that fog distance though. You were the first level. I remember it's like, oh, you're in South Park, but then it has the fog distance draw. Link CW says two, so I must have missed something. Let me scroll up. I don't want to miss anything because these are good. These are good. Okay, Evil Dead 2. So I figured it'd be Evil Dead 2. Yeah, because Evil Dead 1 it's more prototypey. Uh, Mark Morales 1516 says, "Hey Proto, missed the last live stream. You should check it out. It's a really good one. It was 4 hours after it ended, and YouTube failed to notify me. Hope you were doing well. After the snowstorm, I was an ice storm, and it was pretty crazy. Um, yeah, well, you know what? It's not your fault, Mark. I did it at a weird hour. Anyone who showed up was kind of like confused. Like I think I did it at like 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I did it for my parents'. It was just I lost power. I lost power. Everything was dead. Uh, Easily like 5 days straight of no electricity. My all my food in my fridge went to waste. Everything spoiled. I just had to go to my parents'. I had to go to my parents', take a shower, get some real hot food for once, not eating like, toast and pita and crackers and anything that wasn't a perishable, you know. You couldn't make anything going out and eat. And you have to understand this was like almost the entire island of Montreal was like this. So if you wanted to like go to a restaurant to eat or even like fast food, it was like a 2 hour lineup. Like it was crazy. It was nuts. It really, I'm telling you, like if go back and watch the stream from last week and you get to see the dogs, you get to see the animals. It was a fun stream. I did it all like, it's funny. Like last week I did it from my dad's like room, which had all the records and stuff. Now we're in the video game room. Probably next week we'll be back in the TF room, or maybe we'll do it in the manga room. We'll see. We will see. But thank you for the positive vibes, Mark. It was a crazy week. It was crazy. It was just me sitting in my bed freezing, and then going like, screw this. I'm going to my parents', and then I wanted to do a live stream because I missed doing segments, and people were going like, is Protoman dead? Like he never misses a day. What's going on? So thanks for all the positive vibes, though. Thank you, thank you. Who do you main in Street Fighter? Depends which. Street Fighter 2. I can tell you the whole history. I mean, I played Street Fighter religiously. I mean, so that's a Street Fighter 4 poster signed by Yoko-san. There's a signature. I met him at Fan Expo when Street Fighter 4 was coming out. I played Street Fighter competitively my whole life. Street Fighter 2, regular World Warrior Edition. If they'll allow me to use Guile because he's cheap, but I'll have to go with Shoto Ken. Championship Edition, Sagat. Turbo back to Ken. Super and Super Turbo, we'll go with Blanca because Blanca's really good. When you go into the third Strike series of 3, Chun-Li is just top tier in that. I can't deny it. I don't have one guy when it comes to Street Fighter. It really depends on the game. It really does. When you go into the crossover stuff, when you go in SNK versus Capcom versus Street Fighter, I have different teams for everything. So, and then when you get into the SNK titles, King of Fighters, Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury, loaded deck. Let's put it that way. Loaded question. If I had to say who is my overall, like I find myself picking Ken and Blanca, but Bison sometimes ends up like I'm not a charge guy, I'm not a Shoto guy. It's whatever works. Certain games, the balances and how it works, you just find who you want to use. Like, I mean, I never thought like I'd be using Chun-Li in Street Fighter 3. I mean, I was like, oh, Sean's really cool, but then you start using Chun-Li and you're going like, oh, she's really good. Timmy K. Poindexter, Legend of Zelda. Oh, here we go. Timmy K. Poindexter would say Legend of Zelda, so the original's regular Nintendo. Dumb and Dumber, fantastic movie by a Canadian. And a Daniel. So a Daniel and a Canadian. Purple Drank. Yeah, you know what? I love me some Purple Drank. Let me tell you, I love purple stuff. And I'm not even saying that like, as someone who grew up in the hood and getting sip sacks, for people who know what sip sacks are, which had Purple Drank in it. And sweet tarts. Ooh, I'm not feeling the sweet tarts though. A little too tardy for me. But that's a good one. That's a good one otherwise. Kimmy and Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is another like top 5 RPG of all time. Probably top 3 in my opinion, along with Earthbound. I don't know where the camera is anymore. Yeah. Where are we at? Where are we at? Lizards for X. If I'm 12 and I'm still going to Nana's for the weekend, and it helped that she managed a super video rental. Oh, super movie rental. So Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, the second prequel movie. Peanut M&Ms, which is damn good. Sprite and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Genesis. Now, do you have a second controller and then you get your friend to play the Tails that is invincible that'll help you beat the game, or you do it solo without someone helping you? Because that's what I used to do. I used to play with my sister. We didn't have a Genesis, but I had a next door neighbor, Deepesh, and we would trade systems and borrow them sometimes. I'd give him my Super Nintendo, he'd give me his Genesis. And I remember I'd play with my sister, and I'd make my sister play as Tails because she wasn't as good as me, obviously, but she would die a lot, but Tails is invincible, so he's very useful. You could just throw Tails at Robotnik or a boss to help beat it. That's what we used to do back in the day. Mega Man X, that's one of the greatest games of all time. One of the greatest soundtracks of all time. One of the greatest games of all time. Mega Man X, man. Mega Man X. Love that game. Inafune, man. And Mountain Dew or Sprite. Sprite is, you know what? My opinions on Sprite, unfortunately, are ruined because I worked at fast food, and learning that we use Sprite to clean everything just made me go like, ugh. Never putting that in my body if we're using it to clean stuff. Yeah, did a very good job cleaning stuff, Sprite. Oh no, I don't want to miss anything. There's a lot of good stuff here. Everything's scrolling. Let's see. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Transformatics says 86 movie, of course, or a ninja movie. But what ninja movie? Revenge of the Ninja? Ninja Assassin? You got to get one of those like really bad B movie ninja movies. Toledo Treat. I don't know what that one is. That's probably and Caramel Corn. Ooh, that I do know. Game would have to be F-Zero for the Super Nintendo. That's a good one. I love F-Zero. Doesn't get enough love. Even the arcade version was fantastic. Rodimus Power, late but better than ever. Hey, Rodimus Power, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. We're having a good time here. A little not Transformer related. We're just kind of chilling, enjoying stuff. A lot of cool shit. Actually, you know what? Here, everyone's talking Mortal Kombat. Here's a cool one. So this is the Ninja multi-pack. And I love that they knew that Scorpion was the most popular character, so they left him out of the multi-pack, so you'd have to buy him individually. I love this. This thing goes for insane money now, I found out years later. But I love this thing. So cool. Look at that. You get Rain, you get Ermac, Noob Saibot, Smoke, Scorpion, and my boy, Reptile. Love this Ninja multi-pack. So much cool stuff here. It's a mess right now, unfortunately. Like it's just we're slowly building shelving. We're slowly building out stuff. Like we have that Mega Man that's glowing there in the background. Doesn't even come out well on the camera, but Kuma is the best Tekken character. Best Tekken character. Huang, the Taekwondo guy. I use him in Tekken 3 and 4. I haven't been keeping up on my Tekken. I used to play it when it was in the arcades, and then I didn't really follow up. Cringe McCringle, what up? Man, I did like 3 sets of tires today. and I am just burned out and exhausted. Um, haha, Proto forced my sister to play Tails. Well, you know what? If she's there, if she wants to play along, and it's something where she doesn't hinder you. She falls back. She falls back. Tails comes back. And if she's helping you, she's actually doing damage and helping. Because if she dies, she comes back. If she does damage, it helps you. Like that's the way. That's what I liked about Sonic 2 was you had a player 2 that was not really invasive, and he was actually helpful. You know. And then there's the actual 2-player mode, which was more competitive, but that one kind of sucked. Where we at? Where we at? I hope I didn't miss anything. Retro Cabal making me miss the '90s. You know what? And I've said it once, and I've said it 100 times. If I could live 1 year in an endless loop forever, like forever, like just like January hits December, and then we're back at January again, it would be 1997. I don't know why. I mean, it's going to be different for everyone. Everyone has different nostalgia, but for me, it's 1997. It was like, Ocarina of Time. I had the internet back then, so it was like the early virgin days of the internet. You still had emulators, so you could still play every single regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo game for free, so you didn't have to worry about that back then. You had the N64, you had the PlayStation peak, wrestling was firing on all cylinders, music was great, like 97 for me. But again, everyone's different. Someone who grew up in the 2000s will have a different opinion, and your opinion's not wrong. It isn't, because everyone has a different one. I'm pretty sure if I asked my father, he'd say something in the 60s, or the 70s. Probably the 70s. We got a super chat by Mark Morales. You talked about reveals last stream, the Nemesis being the first female Titan to just ripe with puns like mommy ship or Nemesister. Yeah, she is. She's gonna be the first female Titan. We never, and not just a matter of first female Titan. Like when you think of like big, tall female Transformer characters, there really isn't much of that. There really isn't. Like Megatronia and Mega Empress, that combiner team, and then of course Victorion and stuff were like the firsts of that in a lot of ways. With that whole crew, with the Rust sisters and everything. So it's something where it's not common in Transformers at all. Like female characters are always smaller price points, deluxe class. I mean, we got an Elita 1 jet that was a Voyager. Wow, like that was the first time we really saw something big. I mean, you could argue Overlord from Master Force because that's half male, half female because of the Master Force Godmaster component, but I wouldn't really count that. Link CW says, "Wow, sprite cleaner." Well, we would use the griddle that we would make the breakfast would get burned by the end of breakfast because we make eggs, bacon, all the fat and everything would burn all over the griddle. And you could use soap and water, you could use degreaser, but my boss, he's like, "Watch this," and he took Sprite, he would put it in a cup on the hot griddle, and it would just peel everything away. And we were like, "Oh boy, okay, screw that," screw that. Mikey Louie, so where are our Super Mario Transformer crossovers? Yeah, well, you're gonna have to get Jax to. Jax is gonna have to let go of the license. I'm pretty sure the hand and fist money they're making right now, they're gonna go and renew that license right away with Nintendo. So. And Jax has had the Super Mario license for, my goodness, like, this is one of the first ones. This was one of the first Shy Guys that they did. This was, geez. So this one here, this was from Series 2, the very first early Jax stuff that they did back in the day when they got the license. And this was 2005. So they've had the license for a while. And they've been holding on pretty strong with that. I don't think they're going to let go, especially now that the Mario movie's making gangbusters. They're going like, let's get that Wave 2 out. Give me some of the Kong people, man. Give me a Donkey Kong. Give me the gorilla with the sports coat. That kind of looks like Funky Kong, but not really. That girl is wearing a sports coat. Where are we at here? Where are we? Shit, I'm lost all over the place. How much time we got left? Oh my god, we're already like 20 minutes left. We flew through today. Yoshi Dinobot crossover. That would be easy. That'd be easy. I would take the Dinobot mold, or I would take if we could even get the smaller mold like Slash or something, because that would be a little more better with the proportions with Yoshi. I mean, you know what's the problem with Yoshi is because you have like I don't have it nearby because you have like the two different versions of Yoshi. Here, one sec. Um, Here we go. All right, this is a classic. So, like the old school Yoshi was always more of like I always see like a horse kind of design, and that was like how Yoshi first started. This is from the UDF collection, Ultra Detail figure, where they'll always do Nintendo stuff based off of old designs. So like you see like the old Yoshi babies and the old Mario from Mario Bros. Pipeline, as we call it in the fandom. And so you have you have that Yoshi kind of style, which was around for a bit but didn't last very long. And before you knew it, we have the more bipedal Yoshi that we have today that throws eggs and stuff and doesn't have the more raptor kind of arms that he has today. Retro Cabal. Any news on the Mortal Kombat sequel? Need my boy Johnny Cage. Yeah, that was trending today. I saw. I didn't check it out though. I was too busy. But supposedly there's some news happening with that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Tom Laney, I'm playing Resident Evil games, middle of the night, lights off, no snacks, maybe a Pepsi. Yeah. I remember we went to a friend's, we rented Resident Evil 3. I think that was that's the one when Nemesis is chasing you throughout the whole game, right? We rented Resident Evil 3. We got Chinese food and it was like a slumber party. And I remember I'm not going to say the guy's name because he might be watching. It's one of our friends locally here. But I remember like Nemesis like busted out and then he peed himself, the guy. He got up and he's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? We looked at the ground and there was piss on the floor. I'm not gonna say his name, but it wasn't Jimmy. It wasn't Jimmy Lai. But it was the other guy in the room, and we know who. Um those who know. And it was hilarious. Like, because Resident Evil, especially like those early games, it was all jump stairs. It was always like you're walking, and then he busts through a wall or something. You think you're safe and you're not. Good stuff. Killer Instinct underrated. I love Killer Instinct. You can barely see it. You want to see the only Killer Instinct action figure in existence. This is the only Killer Instinct action figure that has ever existed. They did a Glacius, and they did it in South America. They never made a Jago. They never made a Orchid. Why, I can't imagine. They've done statues of the new stuff, but this is the only Killer Instinct figure that ever got made. They made a Glacius. Isn't that amazing? I love collecting rare video game merchandise from like the 90s, like and the 80s. Like look guys, you see my TF collection, but it's the same thing with video games. Like I'm a big historian with that stuff, and like I love Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct was a big part when I was again working at that video store when they got Killer Instinct, man. Ooh, that was the CD that came with the Super Nintendo version, Killer Cuts, and that album. Oh God, it was just. I used to sit in my dad's record room with his surround sound playing that. So good. Humiliation. Uh, the ninja figures had clothes strings hanging and a mutable belt. I must have missed that part of the conversation. Um, where are we at? Where are we at? Mikey Louie, if you stick a female headmaster into Fortress Maximus or Scorponok, it would technically be a female Titan. Technically, I mean, we do have some female Titans. Put a Minerva in any one of them, so you're pretty much good to go. Lizard Sphere X. Oh man, I haven't thought about that game in a while. Weirdly, I've been seeing the old figures from that game. Well, the thing with Killer Instinct is what kills me with it is it was such a Nintendo creation Like it was. Let me pull out one of the Bibles here, if you will. I mean, so this here, this book here. Okay, look at this. This is most most trading cards that existed through the era of the 90s or 80s of video game stuff. So let me just get to some really cool stuff. So you have like people, you guys might dig this. We'll try to show you guys. So you got like, we'll start from the beginning. So you got like, you got Mega Man, a lot of Mega Man, and then you got Japanese Mega Man, a lot of Japanese Mega Man. Just want to make sure you guys can see that. Got Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat's awesome. These were all done by a company called Classico, which they would just use screenshots, which I always thought was kind of cheap, but they would use some art, some of the art. When you get to the MK3, MK2 guys back in the day, what happened to the screen there? The screen looks kind of weird. There we go. And Mortal Kombat 2. Oh, here we get to the good stuff. Mortal Kombat the movie. So then we get to scratch cards. So these are Pac-Man ones from 1981, and Turbo and Zaxxon, before some people's era. But then you get to the Donkey Kong ones, and these are fantastic. These are stickers. And they also make like a picture on the back, which was really cool, of Donkey Kong. They were scratch cards also. And you didn't win anything. You just kind of played. You bought the cards and you scratched them and you try to get to Pauline in time. More stickers. And then you had the Super Mario ones. So you have Mario. I wish I could show these proper. I want to have like a good camera that I could show all this stuff. You got Mario, Mario 2, Legend of Zelda. You got Double Dragon. You got Punch Out. And there was the stickers and everything. Then Wave 2 of that. Oh, here we go. I'm going to get some cool stuff too here. Got some Street Fighter ones. These were Game Pro cards. I'm sorry if this is not interesting to everybody. You got Street Fighter ones, you got SNK ones, Samurai Showdown, one of my favorite fighting games. I love Samurai Showdown. Galford's my boy. SNK, King of Fighters. Tattoos from Double Dragon V, which was the Double Dragon fighting game. These were a promotional item given to video stores. These are very rare. You got them when you when you bought certain copies of the Super Nintendo game for video store. So I ended up with a stack of them because I worked at the video store. I've kept them all those years. These were cards that you gave during Halloween for Super Mario. These were bubblegum cards and all kinds of stuff. So many of this stuff. What do we got here in the back? Virtual Boy cards. All kinds of stuff. Pogs. It's amazeballs. Let me just open this up here. If I didn't miss anything. Shrimp shumai. Ooh, someone's having some good food tonight. I know that question's going to be coming up. Silent Hill with the lights off. Fatal Frame. Bloody Roar. That's another great one. Haven't played Bloody Roar in forever. Alice was someone my sister used. I forget who I used in Bloody Roar. Remember Alice was that? I think that was the rabbit. Dick Binder. Yeah, it's and I have like 3 of these. Imagine, like I have like a whole bunch of other ones too. It's all of you remember Pog? I got lots of Pogs. Again, I'm a '90s kid. Don't say sorry, Proto. I'm happy that you guys enjoy it. You know, I'm happy. Like it's just there's so much of this stuff. You know, it's an archive in a lot of ways. You know, it's an archive. Oh, Horatio, I barely knew ye. We got 10 minutes left. Try to get in some more super chats before the end of the day. Just want to say again, thanks to the sponsors. You know, I might as well take down this. Still have the Mario overlay here. I want to thank the sponsors again, Symbiote Studios. You know, wearing their Grimlock T-shirt today. You know, they've always been good sponsors to the podcast. Want to give a shout out to again Hasbro Pulse. Also, got a whole bunch of stuff actually in the mail that I'm going to probably be talking about next week. I don't want to talk about it this week because there's some stuff being developed with Renegade Games. Let's just say there's going to be a whole bunch of more Transformer gaming stuff in terms of the tabletop world. There's going to be a bunch of big reveals in the next couple of days. So I'm going to save that for next week because I've been working on that stuff with them. But a lot of really cool stuff if you're in the tabletop world. It all came in the mail, but NDA, we're going to wait till next week and then we'll talk about it. They had Alf in Pog form. I never had an Alf in Pog form. I have an Alf figurine, little PVC figure. That's about it. I should get my Pog collection. I would love to bring my Pog collection. I have Pog collection. I have it in pages. I actually have it in a binder book. If you were a Pog collector back in the day, you got pages for coins, and you would put your Pogs in them. And I have wrestling Pogs. I have X-Men Pogs. I have what else? I have Spawn. Obviously, traditional Pog, like licensed Pog with the Pog guy on it. What else did I have? Street Fighter Pogs. My sister and me had a Pog maker machine, so we would also make our own Pogs. We would put like pictures of our dogs on them, or we would like look through catalogs, and if we saw like a video game we liked, we made a Pog out of it. Marvel trading cards. Oh, don't even get me started. That is it. That's all the Marvel DC room, my friend. One day we will do that room. One day we will do that room. That is a rabbit hole. when there was the speculator boom that was happening during COVID of the Marvel trading cards, it was insane. Like what I was seeing, the numbers stuff was going for, but it was silly because there's so much of it out there. Wildcats. I have some Wildcat stuff too. I love Wildcats. Jim Lee did some good stuff with that. My Pogs in a blue tube somewhere. That's the other way that you would have Pogs in a tube. I remember having Star Wars Episode 1 Pogs. You know what? Hold on. I know there is some Pogs here because we're in the video game room. 1 second. 1 second. I know I have them right here. We got some Mega Man Pogs still on the Mega Man X, actually. Still on the original backing there. That corner, that's the Nintendo Power corner. So there's all the Nintendo Power merchandise there and stuff. All the good stuff here. All the good stuff. David Cabal actually got me this. David Cabal got me this one. Shout out to him. He got me this cool Mario and Princess Toadstool. They call her Peach here, but she was Toadstool back in the day. This was a SDCC exclusive by Jax. David Cabal picked that up for me, which was very nice of him because he's such a cool guy. Yeah. Very cool. Love it. Love it, love it. Yeah, everyone had a ton of Marvel trading cards. That was it. That was how it was back in the day, though. Like if you didn't read the comics, if you didn't read the comics, you collected the trading cards. That's how it was. That was how you got your updates. Oh, Colossus got killed because this trading card says he's dead now. Where last year's trading cards of Colossus didn't say that. Because you couldn't buy all the comics. I mean, we all had limited budgets as a kid. But if you had like a pack of 13 trading cards, you got at least 13 updates on 13 characters. Like I learned about Wolverine losing his adamantium from a trading card, not from buying, Wolverine issue number 25 or no, X-Men issue number 25 or Wolverine 75, I think it was. But yeah, the DC cards too. Yeah, those would have the gray borders and they had the different Earths. I remember those. I have all of that stuff. And the G.I. Joe ones that were done by Skybox. I have like 2 complete sets of those. Those are really good too. Those are really, really good. Good stuff. We have 5 minutes left in the live stream. 5 minutes left. Get your super chats in, and then we're going to call it quits. On a nice variety podcast. We did a little bit of everything today. Sorry if it wasn't all completely Transformers, but it's fun to mix it up once in a while. Can't talk about Transformers every week, and figured since we're in the game room, we'll do different stuff this time around. You know, it's always how it is. Uh, David, you don't have. You know what? I'm going to see if there's a Flint one. If I have some extras, I'll send them to you. I got to check because I bought a collection from a guy, and I bought his trading cards with him, and he gave a lot of GI Joe stuff, and I know I have two complete sets. I have to check. I'm gonna check for sure now. Now that I know. Paul, remember having the console on top of the TV? So in my case, we had the console under the TV because we had like a thing that the TV went on top of. I had a dial television. This is so my very first system I ever had. And it's still here, still to this day. And I'm not going to bother pulling it out here. But I had an Atari 2600. First ever game I ever had was Donkey Kong. That's why I have an affinity for Donkey Kong. It was the first game I ever owned on my Donkey Kong on 2600. Then I got Atari 2600. And then I got my regular Nintendo. And I only owned 3 games. 3 games. Everything was rentals afterward. Now I have every game, but back then I only owned 3 games. And it was Dunk Hunt Mario because everyone had it with their multi pack, which you can barely see, but the box is up there. Duck Hunt Mario. Got Mario 3 because who didn't have Mario 3 back then because it was the biggest thing ever. And then I got an illegal bootleg 110 games in one from my Russian cousin. And so that kept me busy because that had like 110 amazing games, which were all like, Japanese titles. Like it was How You Played Gradius or what else was on there? A lot of Japanese games that were like exclusive to Japan. It's How You Played Pro Wrestling, Kaneko Man, Muscle. A lot of puzzle games. Both versions of Tetris were on there. I love those multi-carts. They were game changers. But I survived on rentals. Every Friday, renting a video game. That's how I discovered Mega Man and Contra and Double Dragon and everything. Retro Cabal, do you think Disney X-Men 97 will do good or not? Look, I hope it's going to do good, but Disney is not normal. Disney's a bunch of weirdos now. So I don't know. I don't think I hope it's going to be good. I mean, look, they'll bring back the same cast. They'll bring back the same producers. They'll bring back people maybe who worked on the art style and stuff from ACOM Studios, which they probably won't. But but the problem is they're going to get a couple weirdos in the writing room, and then that's going to be the end of it, and it's just going to derail it. And then another thing of your childhood is just going to be not ruined forever because it's always going to be good in the past, but it's just going to be some company just going like, we don't care. We don't care. We're so messed up here. We don't care. Retro Cabal. I feel like they could bring back fan favorites shows. It doesn't hit like it used to. It's what it is. The thing is people always want stuff to come back, but I always feel that something like X-Men 97, it doesn't really need to continue because it had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end. And when you look at its end, it was already kind of stretching itself thin. If you look at those final seasons of the original X-Men cartoon, it was already, stretching itself. And they changed animation studios. It also started to look kind of rough too. It ended and it needed to end. And I love that cartoon to death. It was super influential and important, and the voices that we still hear in our head when we read the comics. But it needed to end. It's something where, but then you have shows like Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That shouldn't have ended. That still had a lot of meat on the bone still to tell a story. So there's certain cartoons that I think it's fine that it ended. And X-Men is one of those brands that it's not like the stories ended for those characters. Wolverine's story continued in the comics and continued in different mediums. So it is what it is. Where are we at here? For example, Fuller House. Girl. Well, again, these are companies. Yeah, this goes back to what I'm saying with Transformers. Where it's like, oh no, we haven't used this trademark in a while. This character from Transformers, we got to use it because it's been 4 years, and if it expires and we don't use it, we lose it, and then it's the same thing that happens with these companies, these big multimedia companies. they own these brands and they have to do something with them. Otherwise, they lose the patents and trademarks on certain things. At least in the case of these trademarks. And that's why, like, every 5 years, you get a new DVD anniversary release of, like, hey, Breakfast Club 35th anniversary edition, DVD out of nowhere. Or then you'll get, like, oh, why is, Breakfast Club getting, like, this or that? Like, they'll do anything they can to keep these things alive. And their legal department just survives in order to keep track of that stuff. Paul with the super chat for $2. Teen Titans Go turns 10 years old today. Isn't that crazy, eh? Teen Titans Go, which is the technically spiritual successor, redo of Teen Titans, turns 10 years old. What a world, eh? What a world. I don't have a problem with Teen Titans Go. I mean, it's not Teen Titans, but it keeps those characters alive for me, because that's a show that I would have loved more of. Give me some later Teen Titans, some George Perez Teen Titans later era. Give me some Nightwing, Wonder Girl, Speedy. Give me more of that. Obviously you get that kind of with Young Justice, but I'm just saying, like, the way that Teen Titans was doing. Exo Squad, fantastic show. Another good one. Exo Squad was a really good show. Another show too. Like, look, there's there's a lot of 90s shows that didn't have conclusions. They just had one season and then they just ended. Those are things I'd love to see more of. Those are things I'd love. Like, for me, Botsmaster. Botsmaster ends on a cliffhanger. It literally ends on a cliffhanger. The episode is called The Sunset. It ends on a cliffhanger. And like the final lines is, I love a sunset because it's sun, and then it rises and it's a brand new day. And it's like, they were teasing of this second season that never came. And it killed me, And it was like, what a great show. What a great show. Anyways, guys, we are done today. We peaked at around like 170, and then we started talking about non-Transformer stuff, and we lost a lot of people. But you know what? The ones who stuck around, congratulations. You guys are awesome, because the world is not only Transformers. I love Transformers. I mean, when you have a collection like I do and the knowledge that I do, you kind of do love Transformers. But, you got to mix it up once in a while. And again, because we saw the Super Mario movie, I figured we'd mix it up a little bit. Maybe we'll end up back in the TF room next week, but it is what it is. We are reporting from this is from Donkey Kong Volume 2, the manga. Look at that. This is some weird stuff. Reporting from the game room, Protoman Game Room. Thank you all again for coming. If you want to again support the podcast, we have the Patreon link down there, the join button. If you want to support more, maybe buy stuff from one of our sponsors here, like Symbiote Studios with their amazing plush t-shirts and pins, or and seats. I'm not in an seat right now. I'm practically hiding this. You wouldn't even know I'm sitting in one. This is what Walmart will give you. Actually, no, this is the Costco one. This is garbage. Don't buy a seat from Costco. But great stuff. Thanks again all for coming. Great talks. Loved sharing all the cool stuff with you guys, all the wacky stuff that I collect in this crazy world. Here, I'll show you one more rarity, and this is on topic. Here is a sealed, never opened box of Super Mario Brothers the movie Skybox trading cards. I don't know why I have this and why it's sealed. I bought a card collection years ago. I bought it for probably the Donkey Kong cards and probably a few other non-sports cards. And I had a whole bunch of these, and then I just kept this one sealed just because I was like, why am I going to open it? Because the cards are just screenshots from the movie, so it's not like it'd be like new material. And if I wanted to find it, I could probably find it online. So I just left it sealed all these years. So there's a nice little rarity for you. I don't even know what's something like this would go for today. You know how the card people are today. They're crazy with their grading. Yeah. I'm not doing an opening video. You're going to open it so we could see screenshots of like Spike and Toad Goomba, Go Goomba! Of this guy here. Let me grab the figure off the wall of this guy here. Hey, Luigi! I'm Mario. Created a continuity error for the next, 30 years. John Leguizamo closed the door on my hand. I had to wear a cast the whole movie. True story. True story. Look at Mario's hand in the live action movie. He's actually wearing a pink colored cast most of the movie because John Leguizamo closed the door on his hand and broke his hand. And that just ruined the movie for the rest of the movie for me, knowing that information. But anyways, thank you all for coming. It's always fun having you guys. Thanks for all the super chats that you guys give, all the love and support towards the podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, like I always say. Engage with all the other material. Go check out Aaron Archer's channel, The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, and support his stuff too. Always good stuff. Got to support each other in this world. We put all this content out, make people happy and enjoy stuff. I always appreciate all the love and support I get from you guys and everything, and it's great. Anyways, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go grab a bite. I don't think anyone asked what I'm eating. I don't even know what I'm eating yet. We're still slowly filling up the fridge with stuff throughout the past couple of days. Like we did grocery shopping today, and the fridge is still empty. Not to my standard of what I feel is a full fridge. So we're gonna definitely try to get some. But I don't know. I honestly I want to actually have maybe breakfast for supper tonight. I'm dead serious. Like I kind of have. I have a craving for eggs and hash browns for some reason. I just haven't had them in a while. But anyways, guys, take care. I'm out of here. Thanks all for the love and support. And like I always say, just enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Don't let the negativity of the internet get you down. There's a lot of negativity out there. It's a beautiful world with a lot of cool stuff in it. I wish I could live 3 lifetimes just to enjoy all the cool stuff that this world has to offer to us. And just enjoy life. Give your family and loved ones a hug. Take care of yourselves. It's Saturday night. Go play yourself some video games. Go get a good drink. Get yourself a snack and watch a movie. I'm out of here. Take care. See y'all. Bye-bye.